Today, on Long COVID Awareness Day, I want to share with you a message of hope. So I asked the image generator, DALL-E, to draw me a Rubik's Cube that says infection-associated chronic illness. And this is what it generated. And I actually think that despite this not being what I asked for, I think it perfectly captures and conveys the current state of research on infection-associated chronic illnesses, including long COVID. I think that what you can see from this is that there are some pieces that we think we know that are wrong, and there are some pieces that we need to know that are missing, but we can almost just see how this is going to fit together and how these different pieces are starting to come together. And I know that research is slow, and I know that when you're sick, it just cannot happen fast enough to help take action today. But I think that with so many people affected right now, and I think that with so many clinicians and researchers coming together around the world to try to find answers, I really do think that in this last year, we've made some tremendous progress. And this Rubik's Cube is going to look even more full next year. In my lab, there are several questions that are really guiding our research, and 3 of them I wrote out here for you. One, why doesn't everybody bounce back from an infectious disease? Why do infection-associated chronic illnesses skew female? And how do we distinguish between protective and catastrophic immune responses to infection? To get at this, we have in my lab both a mouse model of chronic Lyme that we work on, but we have also been hard at work on this clinical study happening at MIT called Maestro. And the concept behind this clinical study is really to leave no stone unturned. And the idea here is that we are just admitting that we don't understand what is going wrong. And we are looking at everything and collecting everything that people will volunteer. And I have to say here that the only reason that a study of this scale is possible is a testament to the incredible chronic illness community. Our long COVID and chronic Lyme participants have come not only locally from Boston. Some people have traveled far and wide in order to participate at cost to themselves and with no compensation to date. And study visits can take 4 hours, 5 hours, where this is quite a grueling set of different tests that we're running. And the reason that people are doing this is so many people are really trying to help and trying to make things better for others and trying to help us find answers so that it really doesn't need to be this way moving forward. And I can't thank our participants enough. And if you've participated in Maestro, you've probably seen some of these folks here on my team and from the Center for Clinical and Translational Research, where we run our study. One of the things that I want to focus on in this message here today is that as pieces of this puzzle do start to come together, different features that we are characterizing in Maestro, we've already started publishing on and will continue to publish on. But in particular, I wanted to call out these three aspects. One, because I think that it's becoming very clear that different kinds of immune responses, especially allergic type responses, are definitely a major feature, at least for some of the people experiencing long COVID. And one of the things that we're tracking is, the extent to which we can identify mast cell activation and the extent to which we can identify these allergic type reactions, as well as medications that people are taking to manage these reactions and to stabilize their mast cells. We have a whole set of neurocognitive testing that we're utilizing to try to get a better understanding of some of these most debilitating manifestations of the neuroinflammation that people are experiencing, and cognitive dysfunction. And some of these also let us ask questions about blood flow, like that stat earpiece on the bottom known as Lumia. But also in regards to blood flow, we're able to follow, so many advances have happened thanks to Team Clots, and huge progress that has happened this year in our understanding of these microclots, of different alterations to the vasculature and the blood flow, and the blood thinner protocols that people are trying, low dose naltrexone that people are trying for the inflammation, and metformin, and all these other different approaches that are being taken. These are all things that we're tracking in our own participants and really trying to understand in regards to the mechanisms of what are going wrong, what could be the best treatments for different biological networks and subsets of the different features that we're picking up in our participants. And so I just want to share with you this really, just the incredible potential of what is coming out of this research. And our clinical study nurse, Yuri Kim, is currently writing this up even as we speak, because this is just so important. Even before we finish completing Maestro, should complete by the end of this year, there's some things that are already standing out to us so clearly that we really do think could make a difference, and think that it's important to talk about. And one of those is, we are using these different neurocognitive tests, including that available through a company called Right Eye. They have eye tracking tests that can allow us to get a better sense of what's happening in the infection-associated chronic illnesses in both long COVID and chronic Lyme. And what we're seeing is some very clear changes, differences, problems that are coming across in eye tracking, in voltages, and I think that the potential here is that once we understand these things, one, there's tools available that people are already using to try to better understand, to try different therapeutics, including, of course, prism glasses and other tools like that. But there's also just the ability then to track these changes as they're happening, and to continue to test these things over time, so that we can really understand if things are improving, if things are getting worse, in a way that's really in a way that's quantitative, and that we can put numbers on it, so that we can really try to take something as ambiguous as brain fog, and really start to break that into pieces that we can better understand. And I think that as you watch this play out and you see that this person is being instructed to follow something with their eyes that's moving in circles, and you can see very clearly that something is very, very, very wrong here. So one of the things that we have NIH funding to do, and for our chronic Lyme studies, and hopefully, hopefully we may also have funding to do this through Long COVID Recover, is to develop these predictive diagnostics where we can do illness trajectory maps that really try to follow out not just the way that antibody tests have been done before, but to do much higher resolution antibody tests that allow us to distinguish between protective and catastrophic types of immune responses. This could then allow us to really try to focus in on and understand these different types of catastrophic immune responses, such as those that drive allergic responses, neuroinflammation, loss of tolerance to cell flora. These are all really critical pieces that we're better trying to understand. And what I really want to leave you with is that there are just so many people coming together from very different disciplines, from different backgrounds, who are trying to use their own skills to try to help us get a better understanding of this. And one very recent example in my mind is when I just went to a mitochondria conference just a couple weeks ago, and so many people came up to talk to me afterwards who either have a loved one who's affected or have just had so many people reach out to them asking for help, and they want to help. They really do. And I think that the more the research community can really come together and put our heads together, I think that I really see a lot of progress ahead. And so I hope that you can hang in there with us as more of this comes together. And I just want to let you all know that we are very aware of what's happening in long COVID, and we're learning from you. We're learning from our participants. We're learning from the community and other researchers in what is very patient-focused research, trying to, help get us to a better place. So I am sending you all my best wishes and a lot of hope. Things are really, really, really moving forward. And I hope that you can see that.